Hello, everyone. Why do I have gelatos behind me? It's interesting. Oh, it was my last webinar. I was explaining some stuff about Ethiopia. Stand by. There we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thanks, Claire. Gelatos are brilliant. I'll do a webinar on Ethiopia. Yes. Don't look in the mirror today. My hair is all a mess. I'll definitely do another webinar on Ethiopia one of these days. That place is out of this world. Truly out of this world. My chat's up. Hello, Elena. Hello. Oh man. I'm also glad I'm not on the side of the road. I don't know why I thought that was possible. Like, honestly, I was in the middle of nowhere. I just climbed a ridge. I got 2 bars of 4G. I thought this is going to be the best spot to do it. If I had done it, I would have never actually reached my destination. And I already got into big trouble because I was at 8 o'clock in the dark when I arrived. So thank you for understanding. Hey, Druti and Mandeep. Hello, Lisa. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. It was a great movement. It generated a lot of funding for Tlokomela Food Garden. That's going to help a lot of families. I can't remember exactly, over $500,000 rands worth of donations, which it could feed. I mean, I'm not dealing with that side of it. That's the admin side of it. I need to come back to work. So they're going to feed a lot of families, and a lot of people are going to be helped. So it was great. It was great to go there and be a part of it and help them with the social media and get some more eyes on them. I'm going to give it a few minutes as usual, make sure everyone pulls in. Hello, Igo. Welcome. Always good to see some familiar faces. That's awesome. Tell you what, my feet are still bleeding from the walk itself. I think taking my weightlifting shoes on a 50K march every day on hard ground was not a good idea. But anyway, yeah, it's about. Hey, Drew. Drew, you are too funny, my friend. Hello, Charlotte. Welcome. 100 kilometers, Charlotte. I was a bit shy of it. I'm not sure how much I did in total because I had to help Bruce with social media. That was actually my main reason for going there, and why I was allowed a permit was to get social media eyes and get some companies. I managed to get them onto E-News, which is Africa's biggest news channel. So almost got them onto 5FM, but we were a bit late. So unfortunately, I don't know what I ended at, but I couldn't do both and complete the 100. Bruce did 1,000 kilometers flat, and he's still going now. So yeah, he's crazy and an amazing human, that's for sure. 1,000 kilometers, 50 kilometers a day. Yeah, Alice, thanks for joining. My feet were buggered and it slowed me down a lot. I couldn't keep up with Bruce. I had the exact wrong shoes on and my feet were just blisters, pressure blisters, and they were horrendous. I'll show you now, but you'll probably all leave. How much time do we have? Let's go. 3 minutes, I'm pretty sure everyone's here. Okay. We are here to talk about something so exciting. That's why I pushed myself to do the webinar last Friday. I was very keen on doing it. It's a safari combination we came up with last year. And it's combining two of, you could say, some of our favorite destinations. Not just, when I say our, I'm not just saying our as in Wild Eye staff, I'm saying our as in clients. I mean, anyway, anyone who's been to these places or has done a bit of research on these places can see quite easily that they really are of top class, to put it lightly. They're the best, some of the best destinations in Africa. I mean, Africa, there's hundreds of destinations you can go to, but there's a handful of them that stand out as places that constantly produce what visitors to it want and more. And these two places are in that small little elite group, which is the South Luangwa and Mana Pools. Has anybody in this group been here? I know Alice has been to both Mana Pools and South Luangwa, so you can see her in the participants there. You can even ask her after this what her experiences were like. Alice Peretti, I can never say her surname, Peretti. Linda has been to Mana Pools. You guys can see her there. Or there. Lisa, you're thinking about it. It's good to have you here. I know you're chatting to Johan about it. It'll be great to get you over there. I know you'll love it. So let's get into why we love these places so much. And afterwards, if you see the names in the participants, you can find them on Instagram, or you can chat to me personally, and I can lead you on to them and have personal accounts of how much these visitors have loved it. So we're going to start with Mana Pools because our safari essentially starts in Mana Pools. It's combining two elements of a safari that, I mean, they're quite broad elements. A lot of different pieces can be combined to create those elements, but experience and results. Now, a lot of people always talk about experience and I kind of forget about results. And a lot of people talk about results and kind of and don't really emphasize on experience. What I mean by experience is the feeling you have inside you when you're not taking a picture, okay? Or after you've taken a picture, besides the picture, outside of the picture. That's experience, okay? What is happening around you and what effect is it having on you? Results, as photographers, or just as safari goes, is how often you're seeing things that you dream to see, okay? If you go to Namibia in winter and your dream is to see stars, there's a high volume of results there because every night you look up there and you see stars, okay? But if you go to there and your dream is to take photographs of leopard, little results are going to come out of that in most places there. So these two places have high results and have an incredible experience. Those factors that make it an incredible experience I'm going to go through now and why it is worth every single penny and a flight across the Atlantic or the Indian or whatever ocean separates you and I to get to these places. So starting with Mana Pools, I'm going to bring some videos up. Mana Pools is renowned simply for many things, but mainly for walking safari. Okay, now it doesn't mean we walk out of camp every day. Mana Pools is a big place. Actually, it's actually quite a small place in relative terms to other parks and reserves. But the greater conservation area that surrounds Mana Pools, the various concessions either side of it, is vast. Actually, the entire southern bank of the Zambezi River on the Zimbabwean side is called a wildlife corridor, which wildlife is protected and there's strict rules in place in various different places. Sometimes it's different, but it's all in the name of conservation and making sure it stays wildlife rich. So all the way up to Botswana is a wildlife corridor, all the way up to Victoria Falls and that little stretch beyond it to Kazangula is all a wildlife corridor. Mana Pools is a small section inside that wildlife corridor, considered a national park. It gets special attention. So we're just going to look at where it is on a map, okay? I'm getting excited. I love Mana Pools. Honestly, if I were to choose one place to get locked down, I think we're all in lockdown at the moment, it would be Mana Pools right now. Let me just make sure I'm in the right spot. Bring up a map, and we're going to talk about Mana Pools. This is where we start. We have 5 nights here. Look at that. That's brilliant. Although it's flipped it around, which is a bit annoying. Is it the right way up, those of you who know Zimbabwe? Well, obviously its words are the wrong way around. Oh, that's not good. For me, it's upside down. So Mana Pools is up here. Can everyone read the thing? Can you all see it? Right on the edge of Zimbabwe, okay? Northern tip. Shares what's called a transfrontier park with, maybe this next picture would be better, with Zambia called the Lower Zambezi National Park. The idea to build relationships with countries and cooperate in the name of conservation. Make the map smaller so we can see the top. I'm actually not sure if I can see that, if I can do that, Claire. Is there a way to do that? I mean, I would be able to make it smaller in Lightroom. Let me see if this works. Hang on, let me choose another one. This might make a bit more sense here, except it's flipped it around again for me, so I actually have no idea on where to point. But Mana Pools should be around here. Can anyone see Mana Pools at the bottom here, or am I in the way? This map thing's not working. Unfortunately, for some reason, Zoom turns it over for me. So I have to read everything upside down. Is it behind me or is it out of the way? Oh. Okay, so it should be here. When I put it Monopools National Park, you can see it shares a border with Zambia. There's loads of Zambezi National Parks on the other side. Now I'm blocking it. I thought I would... Now it's good. Okay. Okay. It's quite easy now. I'm just going to bring up the map that has our route. Maybe that'll help me, that we're going to go on. Why would it do that? I mean, it's just like, it's like when camera manufacturers build a camera, you always find these little things that they're purposefully made not so good, so that we buy other stuff. Anyway, so maybe then there's something setting to mirror yourself in the camera. Oh, really? Huh. Mirror my video. Wow. Lisa, Roberti. Is that all good for everyone? Because now that's good for me. Oh my word. Thank you, Lisa. Lisa is very interested in this trip, so we need to get it right, but you've improved everything much, much better. So over here, what? Over here, Lower Zambezi National Park has got a label. For some reason, it didn't put a label on Monopools, which has just below where my fingertips are here. Okay, this is the route that we're going to take. We're going to be spending 5 nights in Monopools and 4 nights in the south of Luangwa, which a lot of time on safari and a lot of time in both places. And I've put this blue line blue because we're actually going by boat when we leave Monopools. All the way up the Zambezi River to a place called Chirundu. Beautiful drive. We get to know the Zambezi really nice. I used to work about halfway in that blue line. And then we're going to take the red line up the escarpment, which is also beautiful. You really get a chance to get to know Zambia really well up that escarpment. To go past Kafue town, all the way to Lusaka, which is at the start of this green line. We spend a night at Protea Hotel, and then we all the way to South Luangwa for 4 nights, 3 full days, not including the mornings and evenings on either side of that, which are also very, 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 very valuable. Okay, so that's the route that we're going to take. I'm going to get back into that at another time. We're going to go into some Monopool stuff, why Monopools are so special. I told you about on foot, the things that really make it stand out compared to most places is the on foot experience. Now, there's a lot of places you can do walking safaris. It's a term that's thrown around in the business. I've done walking safaris for most of my life as a guide, not as a photographer, as the actual guide on the ground. And a lot of different camps had different opinions of walking safaris, of what it really is. So it really is an art, and Monopools has kind of perfected it. And this is one of the reasons why I'm just going to put a wild dog photo up there, just because the video, we can watch that for the time being. Some camps I've been to have literally gone, okay, let's do a walk, and then you walk on a road in a square outside your camp. That's not what it's about. It's about getting on foot and going, and animals, or even sometimes animals, and especially Monopools, they do it. They consider you, and that's part of the joy of this whole thing, is you get to have this connection with an animal instead of, because with Jeeps they don't even look at you anymore. They're so habituated towards Jeeps in most places in Africa. But in Monopools, you're on foot. Although the animals are also relaxed with you on foot, they've been doing it since the end of the Zimbabwean the war, after Rhodesia became Zimbabwe independence. People have been going to Monopools and walking around, so they've become used to people and are going, people are okay with us. At least the residents of Monopools. If you're outside Monopools, the area, sometimes that's not the case, and you've got to be careful. In Monopools, the elephants, I'm sure some of you have done research on Monopools. One of its main attractions are the elephants. Not only do they stand on their back legs to reach foliage that's quite high up in the dry season, it only happens in particular months. that's why we're doing this trip when we are, is to get the elephants standing on their back legs. It's one of the, I've seen it in South Luangwa, seen it once in Kruger, kind of half-heartedly, but nothing compared to minor pools. Nothing. They stand and they can balance there for a very long time. I'll actually show you a video now of one of these elephants doing it. This isn't the most famous one, but there's about half a dozen that do this, and this is all on foot. So you get into your Jeep every morning. Most mornings you get into your Jeep. Exceptional guides. Monopools have some of the best guides in the industry. This is what makes a walking safari a walking safari, are the guides. Okay, they know monopools, they know its inhabitants like the back of their hand. Every single one of those elephants. Okay, every single one of the wild dog packs, the lions in the area, they really know. They know how to interact with them. Know how to. You don't just walk straight into an elephant sighting on foot, because they can come literally 3-4 meters from you and be completely okay with you. This huge elephant's towering above you. It's really brings you back down to earth, and those moments, I promise you, are nowhere else in the world. So that's what makes it really, 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 really special. These guides get you into these amazing situations on foot. And where these elephants are, this is the Blue Forest, Albidia, Vetobia Forest, and the trees. You can see them in the background of this elephant. This is an ideal situation when you go out from camp and, yeah, live there it is, absolutely. Even myself, I've done it countless times now in monopools and other places. It's still, my heart keeps going, and that's actually a real joy of it. It's not what we're after. We're not chasing the adrenaline rush, but that little squirt of adrenaline does help with, in 20 years' time, when you're thinking back in your life, you go, that moment with that elephant is so clear and so vivid. That's adrenaline's helping with that. You never forget the experience. It's incredible. And they come really close to you, depending on what you want to do. Sometimes you want really big, wide shots in a photographic sense, and you hang back and you get all the forest and the elephant's really small and it's a really big picture. Or you go in and you get a little bit personal and get the elephant to fill the frame on his back legs, and it's a little bit more of a statement, and it's up to you. I mean, the joy of being on foot is that there's no limit to your angle. Usually with elephants, you'd have to be really careful with the wind and make sure they don't smell you. Here, they're very used to you. They can smell you. So you can we chat about it as we go. We just make the sighting evolve as we go. Elephants going over there. We look for frames in the forest. It's just such a learning experience to get grips with your camera to create these really big pictures. There's no better way to do it than being on foot. It's amazing because you can just change your angle and you can go and sit and you can get low. Getting low. The difference between shooting off a low Jeep and shooting actually on the ground is immense. It just gives an image depth, and it just comes alive when you can literally lie on the ground and put your camera on a beanbag or your jacket or just your arm, or put it on the dust, which I do. Well, I shouldn't. Last time I've got a story about that. I really paid the price for doing that. So you really should keep the dust out of it. You can get these really low angle shots, which is, you can't do it anywhere else that I know of in Africa with the animal so relaxed with your presence, which means you can just stay with them. And we've had days, I'll show you a picture and a video here of old Boswell. This is one of the trips from last year. I'm sure those of you who have been there, you know Boswell. You know Boswell well. He's a gentle giant of epic proportions. He's an immense elephant. He's huge. And his name is synonymous with monopools. He has friends of mine, Sid and Helen. Sid's behind me there. Helen's off to this side over here. That's Boswell in the background. He's a really big elephant, probably in his 50s. Synonymous, that's Alf over here in Gerry, and Paul Hubbard. These are two of the finest guides on the continent. I say that with no exaggeration. These are the caliber of people that exist in monopools, and these guys make it the experience that it is. If you haven't experienced it yet, you can't comprehend the difference it makes when people like this are guiding you around. Really incredible naturalists, and they live, eat, breathe the bush. Really inspiring people to go with. And there's Boswell. Now you can see we're hurrying out the way out of respect. You can sit there and Boswell will probably look at you, get up to a few meters from you, and kind of go, you're underneath the tree I'm trying to stand at. Okay, I want to get some food, and then he'll be annoyed and go to the next tree. And I mean, there's no harm in it, but out of respect, you get out of his way. He's like an old boy. And what's really beautiful about this scene is that you can see behind him those of you who know elephant wild, these are young bulls that are following him. He had this constant posse of young bulls that are following him, which was great for us because bulls, males, very relaxed with people in mana pools. Okay, there's an occasional individual that'll you've got to be careful of, and the guards are very good at reading their behavior and going, hey, that one's come from somewhere else. We should be careful. But when they're with Boswell himself, this is what's so amazing. Because it's such a hierarchy, kind of what's a hierarchy? It's almost like it's forced. This organic hierarchy in elephants, like it's not forced. It's just instinctually they lay their trust in older elephants. It's really amazing. This is Africa. This is continent wide. Okay, in a situation, a trying situation, when danger shows up out of nowhere, younger elephants look to older elephants to make the decision. So Boswell's relaxed. Younger elephants are relaxed too, and he's completely relaxed for this. Okay, I mean, he doesn't care. He will walk right past you as long as you give him respect. They're like old people in the village. You don't just open the door and go hello. You knock, you wait your turn, you show your presence. I'm here. If he wants to, he will come to you, or he'll keep going. You've got to leave the ball at this court. And the guides here really know that and how to interact with the elephants, which is really, really cool. So he's always got the decision because they're sensitive. They're really sensitive. If you just show up, you'll be like, who do you think you are? It's getting in my way. And then you'll make you upset and you'll scare all your clients. So you don't want that. It's disrespectful, and these guys will never do it. So this is what we did. And we spent the whole day with this giant fella, going around, getting different shots, getting some high key stuff of him in the shade. And then you'd go to another tree and get him and a column of elephants behind him. Just magnificent. And, you know, I've got a couple of questions from Milena, who I hope is online at the moment, on Instagram about Boswell's home range, okay, which is a great question. Even though he's not the only elephant there and you don't spend every day with him, some days he's not there, he can disappear for substantial amounts of time. He goes upriver. Mana Pools is a small place. He goes upriver to the neighboring concessions and he comes back. But you're always getting updated on where he was last seen. Mana Pools is his most regular haunt. Yes, Lisa, absolutely it will be. Those of you who might want to leave, sorry, I am already taking more time than I should be. This will be available on YouTube. It absolutely will be. So please do go and find it on YouTube. It just has to get a little bit edited first, and then it goes onto YouTube. So yes, Boswell, we're going to go back onto Boswell here. He's one of the attractions, but a lot of elephants do this. And not only is the elephants relaxed, this is what's really rare and really special about Mana Pools. Claire, we've got a 2021 trip in September, and we've got a 2022 trip in September. I can send you the dates personally. September 2021 and September 2022. We've got 22. Those of you who want to look at dates, 2022 people are starting to book, which is nice because we'll be out of this corona trouble by then. I will, Claire, absolutely. And so not only are the elephants relaxed, but this is what makes it so awesome. Because the BBC, one of the other things, the BBC filmed a certain wild dog pack for so long, they got quite habituated with people on foot. So you can go and find this wild dog pack and lie on the ground and shoot them at ground level. And they're literally 20 meters from you. And I've had it before where you're sitting on the ground and you're watching them, waiting for them to wake up. And they spot an impala behind you, and the dogs run straight through you and go after the impala. I mean, running it's outrageous. It really is. Oh, Melania, yeah, good, fantastic, good to have you here. And these dogs come running past you after the impala. I've tried once or twice to keep up with them, but that was a fruitless operation. You mostly have to come around with a jeep and go and find the direction they ran in and see if you can pick them up again. But really is special. You can get right down low and get a really intimate experience with these wild dogs. Occasionally lion even. There's a few lion in the area which don't mind you on foot, and you can actually approach them on foot. And they're a little bit wary of you. They watch you, but you can get good kind of 20, 30 meters from them, which is really exhilarating and an amazing experience. Outside of pictures, it's really, really awesome. And I mean, that's what defines Mana Pools. It's on-foot encounters with some fairly exciting animal, buffalo, zebra. And besides that, just the images, I'll go through my Lightroom just now about these images. You're getting this deep blue shade that comes down from the Albidia forest with these really big, thick stems of the trees. The light, if you come in the morning and you see that light, it is unbelievable. Just picture blue and red that works so well together. We know that. The redness of the sun coming through in the dust, the blueness of the shade in the Alberta forest, it's just heavenly. It's out of this world. See if I have any videos here that depict the forest, the color of the forest. I think that elephant one was probably one of the better ones, although the blue wasn't really coming out. This was an interesting sighting. This was, you can see wild dogs in the background there. This is all on foot. Some of you have been following me for a while on Instagram. I've posted a lot about this scene. So we stay at Zambezi Expeditions Camp in Monopools. One of ABC's, it's the premier camps there. There's a few reasons why we use ABC. The guides are really good. They're really strict on having really good guides, which make a big difference there. And their camps are stunning. What I should have done is got a picture of this camp, but those of you who want to, I'll send you my brochure. It's a very small file. We can chat about email addresses at the end of this, and I'll send you the brochure, which has got all my pictures of the camp itself. Really beautiful canvas tent, authentic, and right on the banks of the Zambezi River. You literally open your door, and the banks of the Zambezi River are there. I go, yes. Well, I mean, if you guys want to type some messages, and whenever you have time now for in between me chatting, you can put your email addresses down there and I can send you my brochure. At the moment, I'm just waiting. The only thing it doesn't have on it is a cost, because we're waiting for 22 prices. Obviously, coronavirus is making things tricky, which is actually bringing the prices down a little bit. So we're waiting for that anyway. But yeah, if you want to type it in a message, in a personal message, thank you, Argo. I'll send it to you shortly. Okay, so Monopools, wild dogs. This was an encounter with wild dogs, which was really cool. You can see it over here. They're attacking an eland with its calf, all on foot, about 20 meters from us. And let me just find the less gory one. Some of them are quite hardcore. This is a wild dog going after the eland, getting out of its way. She was protecting it. Unfortunately, they eventually did kill the eland, the calf. They would never be able to bring down an adult. But this was all viewed on foot. If you notice that the ground here is really blurry, it was all right along the ground. And these things were 20, 30 meters away from us. This battle went on from 8:30 till 6 o'clock at night. Now, this type of thing doesn't happen often. I definitely want to say we're going to go to Monopools and see a war between an eland and wild dogs for the whole day. But there's little gems that happen there. On every trip I go to, there's something different, something unique. The latest trip I went to, there was a fight between a crocodile and a buffalo. It eventually broke all the buffalo's horns off. The buffalo ran away. Hyenas started attacking the buffalo, throwing the hyenas off, almost made it to the herd. 8 lions came out of nowhere and hit the buffalo. They brought the buffalo down and killed it. In those 8 lions were 2 pairs of mating male and female lions. They jumped in and got involved. Male lions, when they're mating, not good. Big fights all around the Jeep. Amazing. Incredible. So there's always something unique and different and special about Monopools. So I'm bragging about it a little bit too much here, but you can see it is really an incredible destination for so many different reasons, mainly on foot encounters with incredible animals, incredible guides, authentic, brilliant Zimbabwean camps. They're renowned for just being some of the best in the business. 5 nights there, 4 full days. It's a lot of time. You get to explore the ins and outs of Monopools, spend quality time in that forest. It really is up to us. There's no rules on like coming back for breakfast. We can take it with us. We can go for lunch. It does get hot, so most of the time we come back at lunch and do a bit of editing and chatting and drinking of gin and tonics. So we usually come back at lunch and relax a little bit in camp and do some editing and do some Lightroom, which is always fun. It's really important to do that, because sometimes those big pictures are hard to put together if it's your first time in Monopools, and using framing of the trees to help you. So we really have a good time in camp. But then we head out again. We can spend the whole day searching a different part of the forest, looking for boswell, looking for dogs, looking for lions, whatever is available. So leopards are a little bit tough. That's why we added South Luangwa to this. Leopards and Monopools are tough. We see glimpses of them. One of my friends was sitting under a tree once, literally the smallest tree you can imagine, just enough shade for him. And when he got up and left, a big male leopard jumped out of that tree and ran off. So they're there, but they're very difficult to see. So 4 full days in this amazing destination. We're walking, we're getting tired, we're in the sweat, we're seeing all these beautiful things. We go to South Luangwa, which is in itself a very different experience. More on a high octane, Jeep-bound experience. We're in a Jeep the whole time. That in a place that is heavily saturated in cats and predators, that's what it's known for. South Luangwa is actually its only rival in densities of predators is the Sabi Sands parts of Kruger National Park. Very high leopard densities, 11 point something leopard per 100 square kilometers. It's a funny number to work with. Translate that into normal language, it's a lot of leopard. They're everywhere. Sometimes, I mean, you're driving home at night and there's another leopard, and you bump into there's another leopard, and then you bump into another leopard. If you go into South Luangwa at the time that we're going, you're going to see leopard. You might even see them. I don't know how many of you have seen. Let me get some South Luangwa stuff up here. Okay, we're going to South Luangwa. We've gotten into our boat. We've had an awesome boat cruise upstream in the Zambezi. You've gotten to know the Zambezi. Then you're going up to Lusaka, 1 night of Protea, and we fly all the way to the South Luangwa National Park. I'm going to let's bring up a video of South Luangwa. What defines South Luangwa? Let's do leopards. Huh? Here's a video of the leopard. Beautiful leopard there. Milena, it is warm. I wouldn't call it super hot. It is warm though. It is warm. But I've never had it unbearable. It's the 1 day in between, Charlotte. So we go out for our early morning walk at Mount Pools. We get onto the boats. That full day we're going to spend traveling to get to Protea Hotel. The next morning we fly on Pro Flight all the way to Mfoe, where we get picked up by our guide, and we literally game drive ourselves all the way to camp in the South Luangwa. So it's that full day in between, and the next morning after that is travel time. But it's very easy travel. It's not, the day from Mount Pools to Lusaka is quite a long day, but it's very interesting. You get to see a lot of the Zambezi River, which is an iconic river of Africa, and there's even photographic opportunities all the way out that bank. So it is a very interesting travel day. It's not a bad one. So a little bit of travel time in between, and then we have South Luangwa. I'm actually going to change this video. As you can see, my warp stabilizer went a bit funny, but this is typical of South Luangwa. Leopard sightings, leopard. It's not the only thing that is there. There's incredible lion sightings, some of the best in Africa. There's loads of buffalo, there's elephant everywhere. There's wild dogs, incredible. They actually say that South Luangwa National Park has got the highest density of wild dogs in Africa now, thanks to the Zambian Carnivore Project. It's a hard census to do. It's not easy, but it's so good question, Lisa. I like that question. Are the lions as beautiful as Mara lions? Now, genetically, there's a lot of genetic diversity in lions throughout Africa, as I'm sure some of you know. The Mara is known for quite big black-maned lions, dark-maned lions, we call it black-maned lions. Serengeti is very well known, especially the southern parts, for blonde lions, very, very beautiful blonde uniform manes. Okay, places of Botswana are known for black-maned lions, the Kalahari. South Luangwa is not known for significantly different looking lions. They're beautiful lions. I mean, I've seen them, they're magnificent, but they're not the Serengeti big blonde males that are quite iconic with the Serengeti. They are just kind of, I hate to say normal, it makes me feel like I'm taking something from them. They're beautiful lions, but I would say not quite the Mara lions that we know, those really big males of the Mara triangle, but they are striking male lions there indeed. Yeah, so I hope that answers your question, Lisa. Not quite the big ones, but beautiful in their own way, just as beautiful in their own way. I got a video of an incredibly beautiful lion, but I think it's on my hard drive that's stuck on the in the office at the moment, which I can't get to. However, those of you who have been here and you have seen male lions, there is something about them, although they might not have the big manes of the southern Serengeti, they have these really wild faces. I can't put my finger on it, but those of you who've been to South Luangwa, Mount Pools, that area, that region of Africa, the male lions, maybe I've got one of Mount Pools. Let me just see. And it's the same thing. I think I've got one of Mount Pools. It's the same thing for South Luangwa. They have these really yellow eyes. They look quite ghostly. For a photograph, it's unbelievable And also there's a lion here called, in this area, a little bit south of it, called Ginger, who's a leucistic lion, only one of his kind at the moment, who's actually, he's ginger in color, who's really beautiful. Yeah, Alice, you can see her comment there. She can vouch for it. Their eyes are very different, very striking. If you showed me a picture of two lions, and one was one of the South Luangwa lions, and one was a lion from another region, you'd be able to tell quite quickly there's a South Luangwa lion because their eyes have got these really, the only way I can describe it is wild, 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 wild eyes. Okay, Yelena, I'll get to your questions. I will definitely get good answers, but you're right, let's save it to the end. So this is South Luangwa, synonymous, you can see the video behind me, with South Luangwa, is these massive ebony forests, Diospirus misspelliformis. Why am I giving Latin names? It doesn't matter. Jackberries. I'm pretty sure it's Diospirus misspelliformis. Beautiful, big, dark wood. That's the trunks are very dark. Again, they're very, very shaded. This is one of the things. If we're looking at South Luangwa, there's always this argument about whether the Mana Pools or the South Luangwa, not Mana Pools, the Southern Set or the South Luangwa is better. South Luangwa, scenically, not only on top of all its wildlife, is scenically one of the most beautiful places you'll ever see. From these ebony forests that's behind me like this, and you just go through there. I mean, if you just picture a leopard inside that forest, it is just unreal, and it happens often. So this is what it's all about. I've got videos from my last trip there, which are very leopard heavy, which is not a bad thing. But this is why we combine these two destinations, is because you get the best of both worlds. You get the on-foot experience with lots of results, and then you get the in the Jeep, high octane, high heavy predator game viewing experience, amongst other things. Obviously, we don't like to just stick to predators, but that is massive emphasis of why we go to South Luangwa. I've got a picture. I think I have a video here of. Oh, that's too big. I thought I did make all of these smaller. Doesn't look like I did, which is not good. Well, not all of them. Bring up one. Maybe that one will work. There's another leopard. It's the same scene. But it's quite nice about bringing the scene up because this is another thing that's synonymous with the South Luangwa is the Oxbow Lakes. You all know what the Oxbow Lake is. A river pushes in a certain direction. For long enough, it cuts that corner off and starts in another direction. That lake is left there with usually a bit of water, and it's a dry riverbed. This is what this leopard's walking across now. And they've learned to hunt them. Those of you who watch BBC The Hunt, and you saw that leopard cruising through the ravine and try to grab a puku, that's where it was filmed, right here. Because these leopards hunt these Oxbow Lakes where they're around the middle of the Oxbow Lake, there's a deep channel where the water course still sometimes flows in the rainy season. So she walks along that, peeps her head up, walks along that, peeps her head up, and looks for puku, warthog, impala, and you follow her, and it's literally one of the most exciting things ever. And in this time of year also, sausage trees. I don't know if anyone's seen those videos of leopards falling out of sausage trees onto their prey. All of that goes down here. Okay, it happens in other places in Africa, but here it is regular. And we've got a very high chance of seeing it, which is quite special. So yeah, lots of leopard, lots of lion, lots of dogs, lots of predator action, and in a very unique looking place, South Luangwa. The camp we're staying at is brick walls, so it's not the canvas tent option that we had in Mana Pools. Brick walls, a little bit more comfortable, nice and cool in the rooms. Not that those tents aren't comfortable; they're very comfortable. So it's slightly different in Seafield Camp than what we'll be staying in Mana Pools. So very beautiful camps. Been there for a long time. They've the guides, again, this is a big thing for me. The guides make or break a destination for me. Not entirely break it. Sometimes you're lucky. There's just lots of animals everywhere. But for a place like this, they've got to intimately know these leopards, where they go. I mean, if you go there and you go to these camps in Seafield, whichever one you go to, we like to use all of those northern camps where there's not a lot of vehicle pressure. There's very seldom vehicle pressure, in fact, which is a great joy of these northern camps that we stay at. If you go to the south of South Luangwa, lots of vehicles. Sometimes it gets a little bit vehicle heavy in sightings, which I don't really like, and I'm sure all of you can agree with me there. So this is really nice, and the guides know it. And sometimes you'll pick up tracks. They'll go, that's that leopard, and I know where he likes to go. He's going to be over there. And when you drive around the corner there, he's sitting on a log. They really know the place so well. And that's what's really awesome about the experience. And they're not just, we call them Jeep jockeys, where they kind of drive around and just hope for the best, see if something pops into the middle of the road. They really know the area well. They look hard. They explain everything hard, which is really important. You get to know the animals as well as taking images of them. So similar thing applies. We head out early morning. One of the few parks where we do night drives as well. This is a big thing. Those of you who like spotlight photography, is using a bit of a light, seeing the antics of these animals, what happens at night, which is really good. There's a lot of leeway there. So a lot of parks is like a 6 to 6 rule, or you can't be out at nightfall. South of Luangwa, we can get up really early in the morning when it's still dark, and we come back a little bit later at night when it's still dark, which is really, really, really special. So let me see if we've got some other videos. It's not, you know, I'm very leopard heavy in this video. This was my last trip there, which was incredibly leopard heavy, which, you know, understandably, sometimes you get carried away with leopards there, which is really not a crime. That's what it's all about. So here's some more images of that last trip. Really good. The leopards are really habituated. Here's a mother swinging around a tree on a kill that she had. Actually, a cub should be at the bottom. I don't know if you can see the cub. Can you see the cub? Let's move this stuff. Maybe it's not that video. Anyway, she had a cub there, which tragically was killed, they suspect, by a hyena. But that's the way the cookie crumbles out there. No, I don't have one of the cub, unfortunately. And a lot of my videos, for some reason, are too big, unfortunately. Don't know why that happened. So doesn't look like any of the others are going to play. On the right of the tree. Good spotting. That is the cub. I've got another one of it, but it just won't play, unfortunately. What is this of? Oh, this is a baboon. Oh man, you gotta love yellow baboons. And this really is also an important part of South Luangwa. You can sit in these ebony forests and just observe baboons playing and warthogs and impala. It really is a magical destination on top of the first-class predator viewing. So anybody, let me just answer a few questions. I'm going to go into some of the images of some of the last trips to just see kind of what we can do in terms of that. So it's in Nsefu, N-S-E-F-U. I go N-S-E-F-U, Nsefu camp. Okay, they use a few up there. There's Kaingo camp, Lion camp. There's some great camps up there we're using in Nsefu. They're all kind of on the same level and really good camps to stay at. Yelena, let me answer your questions. Green season is monopools. If you go there in the green season, you better be interested in birds. And also interested in digging yourself out the mud quite often. It's got a lot of black cotton clay. Those of you who've experienced black cotton clay, it's a nightmare. It is an absolute nightmare there we go. It's a nightmare to dig yourself out of, sticks out of your car. So actually, most camps close in minor pools in the green season, but in South Luangwa, very different story. Let me show you some stuff here. Before I do that, I really like your question, Yelena, the North Luangwa. So I hope I answered your question with regards to minor pools in the green season. It really is a shot in the dark. The animals spread out, they go up into the escarpment, but it's really great for birds if you want to do birds. And if you like just walking in the wilderness, it's amazing. I'm going to share screen with everyone. I'm going to go into Lightroom. I'm going to show some green season images. Now, I was only there, I think I've only got share. Exactly right, Drew. Those of you who see Drew's question in terms of international flights, you fly to Harare to start. That's where the safari starts, and it ends in Lusaka in Zambia. Very easy flights. Lusaka, you can go north and do the Addis Ababa or Dubai, those big international crossover zones, and then you can go to Europe or America. And Harare is the same. Johannesburg up to Harare is usually the route that you take. There is direct flights from Addis Ababa to Harare, so that's also another option of getting to Harare. Very easy. Capitals. Harare is not the capital, but it pretty much is the same thing. And it's very easy to get to. So Harare, we arrive. Lusaka, we head back. I got some green season. I was only there for about 2 days, but you can see kind of the difference in landscape. Those of you who are, if you can see my screen at the moment, Elena's question was regards to the green season. It is still possible to walk in both places if you can get a camp. ABC's Camp Nyamatusi is open in the green season in Mana Pools. But yeah, like I said, you'll be doing a lot of birding. South Luangwa is actually renowned for tougher. It is tougher. Same reasons. Water spreads the animals out. It's very difficult. When we're going, animals are glued to the river. That's the water source. When it's green, they spread out. It can be very difficult to see animals. But you can imagine seeing them in this beautiful green grass. It's very different. You've got to mix it up and do kind of different things. This is ginger. I spoke about ginger, leucocystic lime. You can see he's got a strange pigment in his fur. So he's a little bit south of our region, but he does go up there sometimes. So you can see, Lisa, you asked about the lines. There's old Ginger. And his brother, I think who remembers his brother's name? Is it Garlic? Anyway, I think his name is Garlic. So this is green season stuff. We were doing a green season safari, but it's not offering at the moment. But Elena, you must get hold of me if you want to give me your email address. I can give you some good advice on South Luangwa in the green season. It's definitely worth looking at. But let's get into we're just going to skip through some images of our time of year. Oh my word. It's a bit nerve-wracking because I can't see any comments when it's in full screen. Can everyone still see everything in full screen when I go off and on full screen? I hope you guys can. Claire, it is a beautiful camp. It's a typical Zambian camp. It's funny, like every country builds its camps in a certain way, and it's a typical Zambian safari camp. It really is like homely, yet definitely safari. It's really lovely. It's a beautiful camp. And its location is what's really special. Wild dogs, heaven. They love that area. And an incredible amount of leopard, which is really cool. So this is South Luangwa stuff. Lions, some of these I haven't edited, so forgive me. They're quite crap. Excuse my language. Okay. Lots of leopard action in South Luangwa. We spend a lot of time with leopards. This is quite an interesting scene. This whiteness over here is bird droppings, and I was really hoping to get this frame of a white environment with a leopard in it and see if I could fool someone into thinking that I was shooting a snow leopard. Anyway, didn't work. Only got a few moments of this one walking to the right and the mother walking back over there. Didn't really work out like I wanted it to, but yeah, there's a lot of leopard shooting in the thing. I'll probably crop it to about there. A lot of leopard opportunities. You can see very heavy leopard. Heavy on the leopard pictures. I mean, essentially that's what you want to do when you go to a destination, is really capitalize on what defines it. In South Luangwa, leopard sightings are one of those things. So you can see a lot of the images are leopard. Hippos, very good for hippos. Has the highest hippo density in the world. Okay, there's pods there in the dry season, can reach hundreds. It's really incredible. So we can even walk down onto the river and you can just see hippos everywhere. And in those tight groups, their bulls often get a little bit tight with each other. So they're fighting hippos. If you want shots of fighting hippos, it's one of the better places to do it. This was with my friend and client Dennis Stogstill. He actually won a free safari through a competition with one of these hippo shots. There was one that was similar to one of these, something like that. So very good on that. This is the forest that I was talking to you about. I'm not doing time. Oh, not so bad. Okay, ebony forest, really beautiful, just playing with different saturations there. Leopard, leopards, leopard, leopards, so many leopards. This is her hunting in that oxbow lake that I told you about. You see she pops her head up, she looks around, looks for a target and keeps going, and you follow and you wait for her to pop her head up and down. That's her getting up out of it, chasing impala. This is all just once Friday. This is a few days in this camp. Oh, you can see here's the leopard from that video, her cub coming behind her in a tree playing around. This is the cub messing around there. Oh man, incredible place. Incredible place. It's myself, Claire. I'm leading both of them. Both trips are mine. Both 2021 and 2022 trips are I'm leading. So I'll be taking them. So it's the full 4 nights, Igo. Igo's question is, how many days do you spend in Sefu? It's 3 full days, so 4 nights. So a good amount of time in Sefu camp. Really is special. You get to know the area really well. That's would never really suggest going somewhere unless it was kind of like in Uganda. Sometimes you've got to travel far distances and there's a lot to see. You can spend 2 nights in some places, 3 nights. But 4 nights is really, really good time to spend there. So 4 nights in Sefu camp, 5 nights in Mana Pools. Very leopard heavy. I'm not going to go through too much of this, guys. I'm not going to do any editing. We'll leave that for other webinars. But you can see just, maybe we can go for this all day. And this was just one trip to South Luangwa. It really is a leopard haven. They're everywhere. So that's the South Luangwa. Mana Pools is similar. A lot of this action, you can see here's my good friend Jonty Bozas sitting with his wife, and he has the elephant right in front of him standing up. Where else in the world do you get that? Nowhere. So that's it, guys. Any questions? I'd love to answer some questions. Let me just, some chats. Let me end my screen share. Okay. Lots of Mana Pool stuff. Questions answered. Oh, here we go. Sorry, there's two different chat screens you can have at once. Just trying to figure it out. One screen has those. Okay. Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, pleasure, Linda. Any questions on South Luangwa Mana Pools and why we're sticking these 2 incredible destinations together? I can answer a few now. If anybody wants the brochure, you can send me your email. You can do it now. Or if you've got me on Instagram, you can do it then. If you've got my email address from some other way, you can send me an email, or you can do it now and I'll take it down. I've already seen that. I'm just going to take some pictures of the email addresses so I can keep them. You can either send it to me now if you've got any questions. Otherwise, Milena, definitely got yours. Okay, I'm just going to write, Milena, I've got your email address. Big picture so I remember. And I can send you the brochure of this email, or you can find it on our website. It's up to you. I've got yours. But any questions on that? Guys, this is an incredible safari. Honestly, it'll blow your mind. It's just incredible. And I'm going to have to leave it there. Otherwise, I'm going to end up talking all day. And I really can. I can talk all day and all night about these 2 places. They're really close to home for me. I'm from Zambia. South Luangwa is an incredible destination. Most Zambians, when they get breaks from even working in the bush, they'll go to South Luangwa on holiday. It's so incredible. So such a pleasure, Anne. Any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see everyone very, very soon. I've got a couple of email addresses there, guys. I'll send you some brochures. Otherwise, have a great Tuesday night, and I'll see you all very soon. Helena, let me get your email. Druti and Mandeep, this happens quite often, and I don't know why it does, but your messages come up as a code. So I don't know what you said, but I have you guys on Instagram. Send me a message to Instagram, then I can know what you're saying. Such a pleasure, Lisa. It was good to have you here. If you have any questions, Lisa, please do let me know, and I'll answer any of them. Pleasure, Drew. Good to see you. Or good to hear. Good to chat to you. Likewise, Charlotte, Igo. Good to see you guys. Thanks for joining. Thanks, Milena. Good to have you here. Always great to chat. Thank you, Ida. Thanks for joining as usual. All right, guys, if there's no questions, I'm going to end the webinar and I'll see you all soon. There's some good webinars coming your way. There's got some interesting topics. If there's anything you want to talk about, feel free to send me a message on social media or email, and I'll create a webinar on that topic. I've got one on composition coming soon. Otherwise, I'll chat to you all very soon. Have a good day. And pleasure, Gareth. Take care. That Gareth, I didn't realize. Good to see you, pal. Hope you're well. All right. Cheers, everyone. Bye.